Welcome back into the film room. I'm your host, Erik Turner. Today we're going to take a look at several explosive plays by the Bills offense against the Kansas City Chiefs. Overall, the Bills offense, they weren't that efficient. They were sort of inefficient, but they got those explosive plays as you will see in the film. Early in the game, I thought Josh Allen did a great job of forcing the Chiefs defense to respect his mobility, especially in those third and medium and third and short situations. And the Chiefs showed man coverage. You saw Josh Allen quickly take off. He'd look at his first or second read and take off for the first down. I think Brian Daboll and his offensive staff had a better idea of the defensive tendencies and play calls, and I thought they had some really good concepts, man and zone beaters, to beat the Kansas City Chiefs coverage. And you're going to see several plays down the field that were just almost blown coverages and just better matchups for the Bills receivers and targets versus the Kansas City Chiefs secondary. But in order to push the ball down the field, you got to have good blocking up front, and I thought that Daboll and his offensive line did a great job of giving Allen time down the field. I thought they did a great job of protecting Josh Allen up front. The offensive line got some help with some chips and some nudge blocks by tight ends and running backs to help Josh Allen push the ball down the field, allowing him to keep his eyes down the field so that the receivers could separate on those deep crossing routes and really uncover when Josh had to go in the scramble drill. I don't think that's talked about enough this year is how much better the Bills are in the scramble drill. We saw several plays outside of the play script where Josh Allen and his receivers and targets were on the same page outside of the script, outside of the pocket, and they were uncovering late in the play for big plays down the field. So before we jump into the film, let's take a look at some of the advanced statistics per Pro Football Focus. So here is Josh Allen's passing distribution per PFF. And you can see all the different levels that he hit in this game, but specifically, look at his 20-plus yard throws, some of the throws that we're going to be talking about in this game. If you scroll down here a little bit, you're going to see by passing concept and passing depth. But look at the 20-plus yard throws by Josh Allen. 5 for 6, 23% of his dropbacks, 83.3 completion percentage deep on passes over 20 yards, 213 yards, and a 35.5 yard per attempt average with 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen was lights out down the field. Again, not that efficient. He only completed 57.7% of his passes in this game. But when you're able to hit those explosive plays down the field, inside a script and outside a script, it's going to make things really difficult on the defense. And in turn, it really puts some pressure on the Chiefs offense. As I said, I think Brian Daboll had a great game plan against Steve Spagnuolo of the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he knew when they were going to be in single high. He knew when they were going to rotate in the 2 high zone sets. They did a great job in man versus zone, but you can see the deep middle, 84 yards. You see 2 for 2 from Josh Allen. That's a lot of times when you saw digs on those post routes, those type of routes that attack 2 high safety looks. And then again, 94 yards to the outside and right deep. I mean, 2 for 3 from Josh Allen there, 1 touchdown. It's just, again, having a better understanding of the coverages in certain situations by Brian Daboll and Josh Allen. They were prepared for this game. They were put in the proper situations and proper play calls versus the coverage that the Chiefs were going to show, and they just exploited it play after play, and it really broke down the morale and coverage in the secondary of Tyrann Mathieu and Sorensen on the back end. You could see the frustration as the game went on and as Josh was extending plays and making big plays down the field. And again, that put pressure on the Chiefs offense. Complementary football, that's how this team is winning. And when you put it together on both sides of the ball like the Bills are the last few games, you end up 4-1 to start the season. The Bills had 7 plays over 20 yards. Here is one of the runs from early in the game. A critical third down call here. A QB keeper, a design QB run for Josh Allen. And you have a pin and a pull on the front side by Morse and Feliciano. And you see Josh Allen get to the third level here. So let's take a look at this from left to right. So on the snap of the ball, you're going to have a nice down block by Dawson Knox. Watch how he works to the play side to seal the alley. You got another down block by Deion Dawkins, the left tackle. Of course, Feliciano and Morse are pulling. But watch the backside, too. This is why Darrell Williams and Spencer Brown being out there together on the right side and that shuffling of the offensive line has really helped the run game. Watch how they work together as well. So on the snap, again, front side to back side. So Knox seals that lane right there. Good work, as does Dawkins on this play. But watch Williams and Spencer Brown on the backside of this run. Look at the hook reach by Williams right there, and you see the athleticism by Brown to get to the second level. And then, of course, Anytime you have Mitch Morse pulling and Feliciano kicking out wide, that's a good thing. You pick up the extra blocker with Singletary, and you pick up a big chunk of yards, 22 yards for the first down. All right, halfway through the second quarter, Bills are down 10-7, first and 10 situation, and this is the touchdown pass to Emmanuel Sanders. So the Bills are in a 2-by-2 set, and you can see Tyrann Mathieu in the slot. He's kind of playing games with Josh Allen, making it look like he's going to blitz there. You see him kind of jumping around here and showing pre to post snap that he's going to blitz, but he doesn't. He ends up dropping out. But here's the passing concept. The outside receivers on this play are essentially running double moves, but specifically, Sanders is running like a speed out and go to the top of the screen. And really what that does on this play is mess with the leverage of the corner. The corner does not maintain the proper divider is what they call it. He should be hugging those numbers a little tighter, not letting Sanders, kind of get inside leverage here and then stack them. But this play works because the Chiefs are sort of in like a quarters coverage to the top of the screen. So as Beasley runs this sit route over the middle, he's running past the linebacker depth. So this safety has to drive on that. It's essentially man-to-man. It's quarters that turns into like man-to-man coverage there based on the vertical routes and separation of the number 2 receiver. So that leaves this safety out of the player entirely. So now you have Sanders running that route where he kind of widens the leverage of the corner, and then he gets on top of him inside. But then I love how Josh throws it back outside as Sanders stacks him. So you see Sanders stacking him right there, and then Josh just kind of throws him and lets him fade to the ball right there. Just great work and touch by Josh Allen. So watch Josh Allen on the snap. He takes a quick peek out to Mathieu to make sure that he's not rushing, but there is a little pressure up the middle by Kalen Saunders. So Josh kind of retreats just a little bit to his right to find a platform to throw from. He's looking at the linebacker right here, and I'm sure the safety that is behind him. He finds a platform to sit, a nice pocket right here, gets his eyes on his target, and then lets it rip right over the top of that corner. That corner tries cutting it off the inside lane there, but there's no way he can defend a perfect ball. Bills are now up 14-10. 3rd and 8 situation, so big down here for the Bills at the 28-yard line. I love Josh's processing on this play prior to the snap. So the Chiefs are showing a muddied look with their safeties back here. They're in dime. They have 3 safeties on the field. But they're showing man coverage across board, right? You can see everyone's kind of manned up. This guy is showing on Moss right here in the slot. And so Josh sees that, and he makes sure to slide the offensive line. He slides him this way. Now, why does he do that? Because if this is man coverage and this guy's manned up and these guys are manned up, that means that the offensive line is responsible for 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 of those possible rushers are to the offense's right. So Josh slides the offensive line to the right to pick it up. Great job prior to the snap by Josh Allen. So this play concept is the same play that we saw Josh Allen climb the pocket a few games ago and find Gabriel Davis on a curl route to the top of the screen. It's the same concept. They use Diggs to clear the coverage versus quarters coverage. The corner and the safety air it out over the top of Diggs, and that left Gabriel Davis wide open for a 3rd and long completion a couple games ago. So this time he hits Diggs because he gets that too high look that they want on this post route. So as I said, dime coverage showing man coverage prior to the snap, but post snap, watch what they do. This is something that the Chiefs did all of last year. It's one of their primary coverages. They basically drop out into a 2 high safety look, but it's more of a 2 robber. So Mathieu is dropping into this hole right here, and he's reading and usually taking away any type of deep crossing routes that come here. So it almost looks like a cover 2 or a Tampa 2 coverage, but it's much more aggressive, and it really puts one of their best playmakers in position to make plays and be aggressive, especially on 3rd downs over the middle of the field. So as the ball snapped and those safeties spin out, watch Josh Allen scan the field. He's looking to the bottom of the screen. Now he's getting back to the right and reading the safeties to the top of the screen. So as I said, Davis is going to curl it up right here. You see the Dino post by Stephon Diggs on this play. Watch how he turns around Sorensen deep right here. Watch how he turns him around. But more importantly, the route by Davis draws the attention of Tyrann Mathieu. So he's trying to rob the middle of the field, rob that curl route. He probably saw this on film a few games ago where Josh drilled it in there to Davis. That allows Diggs to turn around Sorensen and for Josh Allen to let it rip deep for the big play. Here's Josh prior to the snap. Look at him in total control in this game. In a hostile environment, you see the safety spinning right there. He recognizes it. It's something they saw a lot of in the prior matchups last year. And then he lets it rip down the field as Diggs is all alone. You see him kind of lose Sorensen where he is. I think he didn't expect to get that safety that turned around, and he kind of lost Sorensen in his blind spot. But either way, big play for the Bills. 1st and 10 situation, Bills are up 17-10, 1:34 on the clock, ball on the 47-yard line at the end of the first half. And this is just an all vertical special. You see basically everyone run vertical routes. Eventually Diggs breaks his route off, but I can't tell if that is because he sees Josh Allen extending the play or it was called from the get-go. But the Chiefs aren't messing around. They're showing man coverage from the snap here, and that's exactly what they play. But you see the safeties drop down. So you see the robber coming right here over the middle, and you're seeing this safety spin to the deep middle of the field. So now Josh is thinking, okay, they're rotating to a single high look. I need to determine whether it's man or zone. So he's doing that, and you see his eyes take him to the top of the screen. Because if this was zone coverage, normally what Josh is going to do, he's going to hold this guy or get him to the middle of the field so that he can throw the seam route. That's generally what you're taught on the all verticals concept. But because it's man coverage, Cole Beasley's covered really well down the seam. Josh has to extend the play, and everyone's covered pretty well. You can see everyone's plastered quite well on this play. Josh finds an area to escape the pocket here. He's trying to live outside of the play design of this play. He does. He gets outside the pocket. This is when you see Diggs come back, and the Bills are in scramble drill mode. So they're both going deep. So Diggs is the one that immediately adjusts and comes back to the ball, and Josh, you will see, will point to Dawson Knox to extend the play. And now when that happens, I want you to watch Sorensen right there. Look at him peek in the backfield right there. Josh is orchestrating Knox deep. He uncovers. He's wide open. The Bills have another explosive play for a touchdown. I said earlier in the game that the Bills and Josh Allen made the Chiefs respect the mobility of Josh Allen. Look what the Chiefs do here. They basically only rush 3 and kind of bring out a spy here. But he's the underneath defender right there, kind of holding Josh in the pocket. But Spencer Brown is able to bring down his guy out wide there and finish him and cover him up. That allows Josh to escape the pocket here. And then it lets Josh be Josh. He finds Dawson Knox down the field for the big play. Big game from Josh Allen, but an even bigger game from Dawson Knox. And a game like this should help boost his confidence going forward. The next play is a 1st and 10 situation, 10:49 on the clock in the third quarter. Bills are now up 24-13. Ball's on the 19-yard line. Look at the alignment that the Bills are in right here. You see a shift, as Josh calls it. Basically, the Bills have 21 personnel on the field. Dawson Knox aligned in the backfield, but he goes out into the slot. Then you see Gilliam move from out wide into the H-back position along the offensive line. They are running their wave concept. You have the double post and then a deep over route by Diggs to the top of the screen. Watch the attention that the safety Sorensen plays to Diggs as he runs that over route. He slices the route by Diggs and hopefully opens up the route for Dawson Knox as he comes across the field. But as Sorensen cuts right here, this corner does a good job of staying deep. He doesn't stay shallow. He doesn't guard grass. He gains depth, and he's really in good position against Dawson Knox on this play. There's really no one open on this play. This is Josh just extending the play from the pocket. There are times where Josh can extend the play outside of the pocket, outside of script, but there are also times, especially in this game, where Josh Allen extended the play from the pocket, reset his feet, and then trusted Dawson Knox down the field. And Knox makes him a believer. Here it is from the end zone angle. Play action pass from under center. Nice pocket from Allen. Now you see Clark take an inside lane on Dawkins, and he's able to get some pressure on Josh Allen. Allen does a good job on this play, keeping his eyes on the field, but right here, he feels that pressure. He had really good pocket presence in this game. So what's he do? Takes a couple steps back. Why? So he can reload his legs, so he can reload his eyes and recalibrate right there. A couple yards deeper in the pocket, and then again, he throws a jump ball to Dawson Knox, and Dawson Knox does the rest. He makes him correct on this play. One of Dawson Knox's better hands catches over the course of his career. 2nd and 6 situation, 6:23 on the clock. Ball on the 8-yard line, fourth quarter. So this isn't an explosive play, but this play really put the nail in the coffin for the Bills against the Chiefs and solidified a 12-play, 85-yard drive and really signaled to the league that the Bills are for real and that there may be a changing of the guard in the AFC. I just love this play design. I love the execution, and I love the variation to this play concept because it's one that we saw a couple weeks ago against Washington. So I'll let it play, and then I'll show you the play that Manny Sanders scored on a couple weeks ago on a very similar concept. So you see Sanders sneak into the back of the end zone, and Josh Allen finds him for the touchdown. A very nice throw inside away from that corner. So let's flash back 2 weeks to the game against the Washington football team. You're going to see a very similar concept here. It's their D pivot concept. So Sanders is stemming inside and running a bull route to the outside. You see the flats route run by the running back Moss, and you see the shallow cross or drag route by Dawson Knox. Nice 3-level passing concept right here. Good, easy work from the short side of the field again, just like the touchdown to Sanders in this game. But again, look, outside, use that pump fake, use that shoulder fake to hold the corner right here, and then fit the ball in there to Emmanuel Sanders for the touchdown, just like he did in this game against the Kansas City Chiefs. So here it is, short side of the field with the ball on the left hash. This is where arm strength matters, right? Inside the 10-yard line, in the red zone, in the condensed area of the field where things happen quicker. That arm strength of Josh Allen really stands out. He puts the corner in a bind on this play. It's a smash concept with McKenzie going to the flats, and then you have Sanders sneak into the back corner of the end zone here. Now, Josh sells this really well. You see him put the corner in a bind after he fakes it right there. Look at his body language. Look at how he's selling that corner, that he's going to be throwing it to McKenzie on the quick flat route there, diagonal route to the boundary. But that holds that corner just long enough for Sanders to sneak by him, to gain a little depth, and then Josh places it beautifully inside, away from that corner, but with enough velocity where Tyrann Mathieu can't break on this ball. The Honey Badger can't make a play on this. So great salesmanship from Josh Allen. Everything tells that corner that he's throwing that diagonal route. Again, 3-level passing concept, but it's really just a smash concept. A high-low of that corner. Create a little doubt in his mind. That's all that Josh Allen needs. Get him flat-footed for half a second. He has the arm strength to make him pay. So here it is from the end zone angle. Josh Allen to Emmanuel Sanders for the touchdown, solidifying this big win, this big mental hurdle for the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen and the Bills offense. Brian Dable and Josh Allen were on point in this game. They had some really good concepts called here, and Josh and the Bills offense executed to win 38-20 on the road in a hostile environment. Thanks once again for joining me in the film room. We took a look at several explosive plays by the Bills offense. Were they efficient? No. Was Josh Allen efficient? No. But what they did was they got explosive plays. They got chunk plays from their offense, from Josh Allen, and that put points on the board and pressure on the Kansas City Chiefs offense, which is a win for this team because the Bills defense are playing really well right now, and they held the Patrick Mahomes-led offense in check. They got turnovers, they got the offense good field position, and the Bills overall just played complementary football. So it's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be efficient. But when the Bills are able to get explosive plays, and I'm talking flash plays from Josh Allen, the type of talent that we saw early in his career, but that we are now seeing as a baseline behavior from him, as a baseline mode of play from him each and every game, this team's dangerous. When you play complementary football like this, you win a lot of games. And so hopefully going forward, the Bills can continue to roll on offense and defense and even special teams to keep this ball rolling, to keep stacking those wins and route to the number 1 seed in the playoffs. I'm your host, Erik Turner. Make sure to subscribe to everything on our Cover One YouTube channel. Get to cover1.net to read some in-depth articles and content from our feature writers, Kyle Salagi and Rob Quinn. We have you covered on all different platforms, whether it's podcasting, film room breakdowns, written content. We have you covered. Again, we couldn't do this without you, so we appreciate you tuning in. We will see you next week in the film room.